Welcome to Overthinking It, the website where we subject the popular culture to a level of scrutiny it probably doesn't deserve. This is Fenzel here, and I'm doing something a little special, a little new today. My first video in a little series that I'm currently thinking of calling Everything I Learned in Life, Everything I Know in Life, I Learned from Video Games. Now, I might pick a punchier title, a catchier title. You got a suggestion, put it in the comments. We'll be going through and looking at moments when we're playing video games where we realize something, either because it's a metaphor or because it gives us a new perspective on something that we can then apply to our real lives, right? To our work, our business, our relationships, science, any number of different disciplines that do these things. So today we're playing a little Starcraft 2, and I got a special guest, Joe Wade, on here from Greensboro, North Carolina. How you doing, Joe?
Doing good, P. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks very much. Joe answered was the first answer to my Twitter call for people to help me with this series, but other people who asked to help, I'll be looking to bring you guys in the future too. It's going to be a fun thing. We'll play a couple games, learn a couple things. Today I want to talk about, we're playing StarCraft 2, first of all. So if you're not familiar, it's a military strategy game that's done in real time, so everything moves really fast. You build these buildings and use the buildings to build little soldiers, and then you fight the other guy. So Joe is out here in the darkness somewhere, and I have to simultaneously manage my army and my production, and I have to make sure I build my little supply depots and do all these different things, right? That's not the building I want to make. The concept I want to go into today is something called in-game versus out-of-game resources, and I first came across this as a strategic concept on a video, on a show by a broadcaster known as Day 9, the Day 9 Daily. He's a great StarCraft broadcaster. Sean Plott's his name. He talked about different ways of dealing with problems. So if you look up in this right-hand corner here, you'll see that we've got our minerals and we've got our gas. And they've run up pretty high because I've been setting up for this recording. But these are the resources you spend to build units, to build little buildings in this game, to get upgrades and all the other nonsense. So I can use those resources to build this little army of Marines to fight Joe, try to find him and try to kill his base and try to kill the troops that he has. But you can also build different kinds of troops. And the different troops interact with each other in different ways, which is sort of how the game works. Now, Joe has a surprise for me, and we're going to see what happens as I move my little duders around, and I've spent all this money on them, right? I've spent all these resources on them, but I'm not spending a lot of out-of-game resources, and the out-of-game resources are like my time, my attention, like my stamina for clicking on things, right? I'm losing in-game resources now. What? My base is under attack, so I look at this little mini-map, and I see, oh no, these Banshee guys are blowing up my base. Oh, I better get my guys over there real fast. Oh, but by the time I get them over there, it's too late. My base has been destroyed. Banshees are pretty strong, and they can come upon you with no warning. So you got to be ready for them. So let's talk about some other ways I could have dealt with that problem. This way, the first way, I didn't deal with it at all, right? I had my guys, but I didn't apply them, and I wasn't doing anything to really counter Joe's strategy. So let's look at my second base here, which I've ringed with these turrets, because I know that he's coming at me with the Banshees, with the little bombers, so these guys are going to shoot. And what these things do is they automatically monitor for Joe's bombers, right? And when they show up, they'll shoot them. So here comes Joe at my base that's surrounded by turrets, and if we watch, like, I'm not doing anything, and the turrets are taking out the Banshees, right? We saw the first base, where I wasn't dedicating my attention to what was going on, and where I didn't have anything there to deal with Joe's attack, so I lost. We saw the second base, where I put things that were permanently there, but I still didn't dedicate any attention to the attack. I won, but I had to spend a bunch of money on these turrets, and those turrets are now going to be useless for the rest of the game, because it's very unlikely that they're going to end up shooting down any more planes. So I sunk a bunch of resources kind of inefficiently into them. So let's see what happens if I do both. I pay attention to what's going on, and I take the resources that I've invested in, the in-game resources, the minerals, the gas, the soldiers, the buildings, and I put them to use in a way that combines with out-of-game resources, like my time and attention. So I'm watching the mini-map, I'm looking down here on the left, I'm looking up here, I'm going over here, I'm hitting my upgrades, gonna keep looking at the mini-map. Look, watch, watch, watch. Where are you? Of course, I could also just go march and try to kill him, but I don't think I really want to do a base trade against a bunch of Banshees. That's what that's called. So where is he? Oh, there he is. Alright, let's see if I can get up there. If I can run after him. There we go. So that's an example of what happens if I'm paying attention, I'm watching where he's going. Now, of course, in that time he happened to run into me, but I've got the soldiers in a position where they're useful. I'm paying attention to what's going on. I haven't lost any guys. This health is a little low, but in the game I would be able to heal them up. I'd have some medical ships, some medevacs, and be able to do that. And you notice I lost almost nothing. So the cost of in-game resources was diminished by the out-of-game resources that I applied to it, right? So that's kind of how that works. So let's talk about the implications of this, right? Let's extend this thinking, and Joe and I will fight while we talk this over, and he'll have an advantage. Because I'm going to be talking to you guys, so I'm going to taunt him. I'm the giant spider, and I'm going to bring the fight to him. But so, what are some situations where in and out of game resources matter in real life? Well, the first thing is you have to define what is the game that you're playing, right? So you define what an in-game resource is by what the game that you're playing is and where its limits are. So, for example, if your game is like balancing your monthly budget, then your in-game resources would be your accounts, your income, your ability to cut your expenses, right? Like stuff like that. Whereas your out-of-game resources would be things like, making sure that you get enough sleep. Oh, there he is. He's got more banshees. Oh, I've countered those pretty hard, so he's going to be in trouble. But making sure, like, having a good relationship so that it's easy for you to deal with financial... Oh, no, that's not good. Those tanks are shredding me apart. Making sure that you have good relationships with people so that... I'm going to stem up. Where is he? Oh, no, he's up on that cliff. A good example I like to think of is cleaning your room and doing your laundry, right? You can pay with in-game resources, right? Which you can pay with in-game resources like money, or out-of-game resources like your time and energy. You can do your own laundry, or you can pay somebody else to do your laundry for you, right? That's a good situation. That's a good example. As it is here, Starcaft is a game... Oh, there's his tanks, and they're just tearing me apart. Starcaft is a game not just... Should I just charge him? Not just of, analyzing strategies and countering the strategies, but also having the mental focus and acuity and the sort of dexterity necessary to do that. Some people can just click faster than others. I'm clearly a mess. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to get shredded here. Just a couple closing thoughts on this whole situation. So I really think that people tend to not recognize sufficiently in their lives what the games are, like what the differentials are, where are the places to put down divisions and compartmentalize in such a way that it helps you achieve your goals, things that you're trying to accomplish. It's very easy to see all resources as a part of sort of one large resource management game, and that can become counterproductive for accomplishing specific things. The most obvious one here is managing your finances, right, where you can make things that seem like a positive utility exchange. You can pay something for a value. You can pay money for a value that you get that feels worth it, but doesn't help you towards your in-game goal if your game is managing your finances effectively, right? The catch is to recognize what is the nature of the resources that you're trading in. So in StarCraft, there's the resource of minerals that come from the little blue crystals. There's the resource of gas that comes from the little geysers. But there's also the resource of you and how much you can manage. Yeah. So if you can think of any examples yourself of how this works, and wow, I'm really bad at doing my in-game actions when I'm using my out-of-game energy to do these descriptions. My build order is totally off. But if you want to leave some comments in the show notes about how you see this concept in your life maybe, and whether you think this is something that's worth thinking more about or talking about, I want to do more of these, and I want to do them both with the in-game resource of my little Camtasia and my little resources here, and then the out-of-game resource of all you guys and the social capital we have to do cool things. This is Fenzel 17 pooling. Yeah, so if you want my build order, it's right. What I just did was it was 14 gas, 9 overlord, 14 gas, 17 hatch, bank 400 minerals, expand for no reason, never scout. Look, some of these videos you watch because you want to get better at StarCraft. Some of these videos you watch because you want to get better at life. So until next time, everybody, spawn more overlords and come to the website where we subject the popular culture to a level of scrutiny it probably doesn't deserve. Spawn yourself! Don't tell me what to do. You're so bossy.